Welcome to Slasher Sunday. So tonight I'm going to talk about a movie that I've been asked to do a bunch in the comments from one particular person. Now I've been asked to do this from other people, but this person has been very insistent, and I needed a Slasher Sunday movie, and so I was like, "Hey, I own it. Screw it. I'll throw it. I'll throw it your way." So here we go. You're getting your wish. I don't normally do that, but you were persistent for sure. So there you go. All right. So this is a WWE produced movie, which is kind of funny because I've been talking about how the movies I've been watching lately have been kind of connected in one way or another. The movie I watched just before this was Fighting with My Family, about the young girl Paige who wants to get into the WWE, and it's a WWE film. So I thought that was pretty funny. And then we got Bard the Bowman, Luke Evans here. I'm a Middle Earth freak, so of course that's how I'm gonna know him. This is just like essentially what this is. Please, if you haven't seen this movie, turn this off, watch it, and then come back if you want. But watch this movie first, because I don't want anything spoiled for you. We're spoiling, so just go watch it, because it needs to be gone into blind. I really hope, so let's talk about this. I really hope that anybody who watches this does do what I just asked, because the twist in this is so great. I went on IMDb and I looked up some reviews on this, like critics' reviews, and there was a couple people who gave it a 0 out of 100. A 0 out of 100. Death House is a 0. I can think of very few zeros that I've ever seen. A 0? That is offensive. You really want, like, I can understand disliking this movie, but to say there's zero merit, like, a 0 to me means that the editing, the cinematography, the acting, the set design, everything has to be awful. And I mean horrendously unwatchable. There's nothing redeeming about it in the slightest. You couldn't say one positive thing about it. And I don't just mean your opinion. I mean just objectively. Like, okay, even though I hated the movie, I can't admit, like, I guess this idea was interesting, and, they kind of executed this okay. And, this guy acted pretty well. That at least right there is like a 10. A 0? Who the fuck are these clowns that are giving this movie a 0? They clearly don't watch bad movies. If you're giving this a 0, it just irritates me to see something like that. But anyways, they're professional critics, so they know best. But the twist of this, because essentially what this is it's a revenge movie with a twist. So the way it plays out, if you go into it blind, the guy is getting harassed by these criminals, and we know these dudes are bad people, should I say. They're not real badasses. They get their asses handed to them badly, so there you go. But they're coming up to Luke Evans and his girl, and it seems like they're in love. We know something's off, but we don't know exactly what. Maybe they're just having marital problems. Who knows? And so they come up, they fuck with him, and then the guy runs them off the road, hurts him, and then the chick ends up killing herself. She pushes her fucking throat into the guy's knife, which is such a gnarly sequence. And then when they find the body later and they remove the little handkerchief or whatever that's been over her thing, and her whole neck and head falls back, like almost off of her body, she near decapitated herself. Brutal sequence. And then he breaks his thumb, or slips his thumb out, and he tells the guy, next time use zip ties, because he's like a professional kidnapper. So he's like, I got the pro tips here, but you're not going to be able to use them because you're going to be dead. And then when he fucks that guy up, you're like, oh, he's a badass, how cool. And then boom, they find the body in the trunk, and you think the chick in the opening, Emma, is probably a hostage of these guys, that they're the bad guys. And it's like, I say this all the time, and I cannot fucking say this strongly enough. I have been in martial arts and I have been in the bar scene for a long period of time. You never ever know who you're fucking with. The most simple looking dude you ever saw in your life could be the most badass guy. They don't look like The Rock in real life. Okay? The real badasses, you'd never know in a million years. And this guy is a total psychopath. And just the brutality of this. Now, I could see somebody disliking this because there's no one to root for. Like, everyone is a kind of a shitty person, or is kind of too far gone, like Emma's character maybe, like the way. And I like that Emma is kind of trained. Like, I feel like Luke's character in this, can't remember what his name is at the moment, but I don't think they ever say his name, do they? Wait, she might. Because he reads his card and he never says it aloud. Luke Evans, yeah. I don't think they say his... Do they say his name? They probably do, but I can't remember it now. But I know the guy recognizes the guy's name because he reads the card and he's like, interesting name. But I would figure she said it, like the captor said it. Maybe she never knew his name either. Do they say his name in this? Shit. I don't know. Fuck, I never even thought of it. I never really pay attention to names. If you've watched my channel enough, you know that. But, fuck, did they say his name? They probably say it like 1,000 times, and when I hear it, I'll be like, oh yeah, duh. But I don't remember it at the moment. Shit. The only reason I'm questioning it is because he reads the credit card, and all he says is, oh, that's a unique name, or something along those lines. And then the next time he sees it, he's like, oh, that's, yet again, like, that's a unique name, and that's when he calls the cop. But I'm sitting there like, wait, that's a unique name. Like, did we ever hear it? Shit, we probably do. God damn it. I wish I would have wrote it down, but I'm an idiot. All right. But yeah, you never know who you're fucking with. This girl slits her own throat, gnarly stuff, slips his hands out. And then they find the body in the trunk. Emma comes out. Beautiful girl. God, Emma. Every girl in this movie is actually really attractive. Really attractive. So, good looking women. They find out that there's a $2 million reward, which... Oh my God, this one guy, the guy who starts all this shit, the guy who gets everyone killed. And you almost feel bad for these guys because this dude is just he's the Wayne Grove of the crew. If anybody doesn't know what that is, it's Heat. Please watch it. Michael Mann movie. Amazing. One of the fucking greatest cinematic experiences you'll ever have, in my personal opinion, of course. De Niro, Pacino, Val Kilmer, Tom Sizemore, Ted Levine. Everybody, watch the fucking movie. It's amazing. Anyways. But what the fuck am I even talking about? I went off on some Heat thing. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, he comes after them, and these guys are just not prepared for the shitstorm. Like, sorry. What I was getting at before, now I remember, was that this guy is a shit. He's a heel, man. He's the one who kills the other guy, and whatever the hell is the main crew boss guy is like, no, and he's like freaking out. And he's telling the guy, what the fuck, So these guys are criminals, but they're not like murderers. Although, I don't know. I guess the big dude who gets killed first, and then Luke Evans fucking full on like Trojan horses him in there. That he hides inside this guy's body. How he breathed in there, I have no fucking clue. I think it would have been funny if he would have had like some kind of like straw, bigger, thicker kind of tube that he stuck up through the guy's mouth, and he was breathing through his mouth into his mouth. That would have been badass to see. But anyways, I don't know how he's surviving in there. Trojan horses right inside of a dude. Amazing. But yeah, I mean, this dude gets them all killed. This is completely this guy's fault. And even when he's like one of the last men standing, he finds out that there's this $2 million reward. And not only is he going to try to fucking rape Emma, who he wants to stay silent about this whole thing. Like, we're going to take you home and you're not going to say shit about this. Here, let me rape you. What? He was like cuddling up on her, and he was trying to get her totally trying to fuck her. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you? This guy's such a moron. And then $2 million, not enough. Not enough for him. He's like, I bet you're worth $5 million. What? $2 million? There's only two of you left. $2 million. You gave me $2 million. I would be set for life. Everyone's rolling their eyes right now. Oh, Jace, you don't know. That's not enough money. This and that. You think it's more than it is. And bullshit. I guarantee you, me, I would not blow through that. Guaranteed. 100%. I would never go broke. Ever, ever, ever. I don't spend money on anything. And I'm a very frugal person, and I would remain that way. I swear to God. If I won the lottery, I would never, ever, ever be broke. I promise you. Anyway. But he's such an asshole. He's such a fucking idiot. Like, you just want him dead so bad in this movie. And to watch his head explode is fucking fantastic. There's so many good kills. I'm shaking the camera. I'm like actually touching my tripod. I'm going to give someone fucking vertigo or something who's watching this. But yeah, to watch his head explode. Then you've got Lee's character who gets like dropped down into that mulcher thing and just drops him head first. At first he just like lets him down and just takes off some of his face and then gets some information on him and then drops him in there. Then he gathers up all the goop and all the remains and all just the little pieces that are left of him and puts them in a bag and hangs them in front of the door. It's fucking amazing. This dude is psychotic. It's psychotic, but at the same time, you're rooting for him. Outside of Emma, she didn't deserve any of this. But everyone else, you're like, well, I don't know. They're all criminals, so, and none of them appear to be all that great of people, so they're not likable characters. Let's just say that. Do they deserve death? I don't know. I don't know what they've done, but the fat dude, he does. And then the dude who starts all this, they do. They both definitely deserve to die. Everyone else, I don't know. I'd have to take them on a case-by-case basis and find out what they've done in their life. But those other two, the guy who kidnapped them and was putting a knife to his girlfriend's throat or whatever, like no, I'm sorry. You don't do that kind of shit. You don't hold people hostage and fucking put a knife to a girl's throat just because you want their stuff. Like, no. And what was he even going to do there? What was the whole point of that? Why did he even have him tied up in a knife? Like, I think he said something. I can't even remember what he said. Like, I'm going to kill you. But he probably wanted something from them. I was just, I was so fucking like just loving all of the setup and all of that stuff that clearly I needed to pay better attention to certain lines of dialogue. And then, what? So there's a Strangers line in this, essentially. So one of my favorite things about the Strangers movies is in the first one, they have the, like, why are you doing this? And she's like, because you were home. And then the second one was, why are you doing this? And I think it's, why not? I think. Is that what the second line? I think it is in Pray at Night. Whichever it is, they're both really, really good and memorable. And then somebody asks him why. And he says, because it keeps me fit. I love it, man. I love it. So that's great shit as well. And then door wasn't locked when she saved him. Oh, yeah. So he slits his own throat as this total mental game with Emma to see if she'll rescue him and saying that the door is locked and there's no way out. And so she saves him and he gets up, which I don't understand how she saved him like that. Like, she would need like serious shit to be able to, suture up his jugular vein that he clearly punctured. I don't know how the hell she saves him. I don't care if she's a surgeon. Like, if you hit your jugular vein, man, you're going to need some serious tools to stop it. So I'm not really sure how she did it. I guess she just applied pressure and it just stopped bleeding on its own. That wouldn't happen, but whatever, it doesn't matter. So she saves him, and then he gets up. He's totally fine. I guess he didn't have enough blood loss to feel woozy. I'm feeling woozy here, man. I just quoted Scream. Why did I just quote Scream? I don't know. I love Matthew Lillard, and I do like that line. I fucking hate that movie, though. You guys know that. Anyways, there's one of the many movies or not many, but there's one of the few classic movies that I don't like, that I get a lot of shit for. Scream and Rosemary's Baby. Those are like my two. Um, and, but yeah, like he gets up and he's like, door wasn't locked, idiot. And she's like, oh. And then, of course, he confronts her about this later, and he's like, you never wanted to leave. Like, you never wanted to go anywhere. So, and you kind of wonder. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that, because he's essentially breaking these women, because the other girl that's with him is clearly a past victim of his. He puts a tracker in their belly, and she seems to be at odds with him, but still about him. She's got Stockholm Syndrome. That seems to have been forced on her. You know, I know Stockholm Syndrome is technically forced, but I don't know if all cases of Stockholm Syndrome are somebody who's like aggressively and actively trying to make them fall in love with them. You know, I just think that sometimes women or men, I don't know if Stockholm Syndrome affects men as much as women. I don't know. I don't know how many men have been abducted by women and fallen in love with them. It's probably happened. I mean, everything's pretty much happened at this point. So, wow. Yeah, I don't know. Stockholm Syndrome? That's probably mostly a female thing. I don't know how many women kidnap men. But regardless, yeah, I would think that they just abduct them, and then they fall in love with them because they have some kind of domination over them. But I don't know if they're trying. Like, this guy's actively trying. Like, he wants them to be his wife, his girlfriend, whatever. And then he'll discard them when he gets bored, because he's clearly trying to replace the girl he comes with. Like, she's in the trunk, and this is what she's upset about. They're at odds with each other because she doesn't want to be replaced. That's what I surmised from that anyways. And so, you know, she gets killed, and then he's like, all right, so Emma's going to have to be. And then, yeah, I don't know what to make of Emma. I don't know if she has feelings for him or not. I know she pulls the trigger when it. I think that's when he lets her go, though, right? Is when she pulls the trigger and he realizes she's not going to love me, and he doesn't want to kill her. So, like, he doesn't want to kill these women. He just wants to try to convince them to love him. I don't know. I mean, who knows? He's a psychopath. I can't really figure him out, but that's what I got. And then we get to see Tamara's tits in the shower, except for only from an overhead view, and everything from a straight on view was like from here up. So maybe, I don't think it was a body double though, because I saw her face when she kind of looked up. Because I remember, like in Freddy vs. Jason, when Catherine Isabel had a body double, it's from the top down, and I always thought that was her, and then I found out later it wasn't. And then this one, I'm like, oh, is this a body double? And then I looked, and I'm like, wait, it's not a body double. Why are you okay to show it from the top but not from the front? That was kind of weird. Yes, I pay that close attention to tit shots in movies, although I still get accused of being gay on my channel. I'm overcompensating because I really want men, and I'm just trying to show you guys I really want women. I love the mentality of fucking people in here. It's great. It really does keep me entertained, I have to say. Tamara gets her ass choked out, and then her eyes burst. Oh, that's gnarly, man. It's like, isn't that called like petechial hemorrhaging? I'm pretty sure. I watched enough freaking Law and Order, SVU, and CSI. I should know that. I actually had that happen to me in a car wreck. All the whites of my eyes went red completely. When I was 18 years old, I was in a really bad car. I was in a bad rollover accident. Ford Firestone tires, look it up. I've said this before in the past, so check it out. Anyway, but then she's strung up in there, in the shower curtain, and the dude comes in, and she wakes up, and he shoots her in the head. Freaking, oh man, that's so bad. That's so bad. And then the other dude gets his head like pushed down into a fan blade, and then the blood comes through the air conditioning unit into her face. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty funny. And then he lives, which is crazy. But then, of course, he ends up dying. But he actually survives that for a bit. And then, how does that girl die? Now I'm trying to, did I write it down? Yeah, I don't know. Pushes face down, blood comes through AC. Why? Oh yeah, why keeps me fit. That's who he says it to, is that chick. Um, Fuck, I don't remember. Why? Oh, she's like, oh, I didn't do anything. And he's like, I guess you're just unlucky then. So that's another good line. But I can't remember how she dies. So her death must be not very memorable because I remember like everybody else's death in this movie. He has like booby traps set up outside. That's what I said. $50 bill, booby trap. I don't remember her death. That's so weird. Weird. I did watch this like a couple days ago, so forgive me. I've had a lot of shit going on. So like I've watched a lot of movies, trying to move right now, and so my head's kind of jumbly. Plus it's cold as shit out here, and I didn't wear a jacket because I'm an idiot. So I'm like trying super hard not to chatter my teeth. I love that Emma just runs and jumps through the window, Trish Jarvis style. Anytime any woman runs and jumps out a window, it's always Trish Jarvis to me, which is funny because, Sally Hardesty did that way before Trish Jarvis, like way before her. So I don't know why I always give it to Trish, and Trish is not the first. Shit, Gordon in that movie does that before her. I should say she Gordons herself out the window. That's way funnier anyways. And I think that's what Exploding Heads Horror Movie Podcast used. She Gordoned herself. So I think I'd be stealing that one. So we're going to stick with Trish, but I should say Sally, but I don't know. Sally! Fucking Franklin. He's such an asshole. And then, yeah, I mean, the dude has he has Luke Evans dead to rights, the main badass guy who gets everyone in trouble. Walks up to Luke with the shotgun, shoots him once, which I guess it didn't spread enough in a shotgun to hit him anywhere in the face or the throat or anything, and it hits him directly in the bulletproof vest. But then he walks straight up to him, puts the gun right close to him, and he's like, "You have one of those for your face?" And it's like, dude, why would you get that close? Just shoot him again. These are so dumb. There's such dumb decisions by characters, but it's a movie. They have to do it, right? I always say, like, you can write these characters smarter. Have something else happen. Fuck. Walk right up to him. It's so dumb. It's like, as much as I love kung fu movies, as much as I love martial arts cinema, the funniest thing to watch, and they can't ever solve this problem, is when a dude fights 30 guys, they all wait their turn to fight. And it's like, just all bum rush him and it's over. You can't knock it. I mean, unless you're Neo in the Burly Brawl, where you can literally like play God and throw 50 guys in the air at once. I mean, a regular human being, I don't care how tough a guy is. I don't care if it's fucking Mike Tyson in his prime, Bruce Lee, fucking whoever you want to throw out there. If 30 dudes, I don't care who they are, rushed him all at the exact same time, there's nothing he could do. Nothing. Zero. And I watch movies like, The Raid 2 and Ip Man, when he takes on like, all the students at once, like 10 dudes at once. And it's like, just rush him. It's so silly. You'd fucking be able to kill this guy, no problem. I like that he crushes the guy's throat in with a clipboard. It's pretty gnarly. And then he says the titular line, "No one lives." Great stuff. But Emma lives. But she's not part of that crew. So I feel like this was set up for a sequel. He rubs her arm as he walks out, like he lets her go. If you love something, set it free. This should have been a sequel, man. There should have been a sequel to this. And it's a damn shame that there isn't. I wrote down that I watched Under the Silver Lake on here, and I have no idea what correlation that has to this movie. No idea why I wrote that. That's so odd. I wrote it on here for something, and I have no idea. Maybe I just wanted to say I watched it. That doesn't make any sense. I would have reviewed it. I mean, it's a great fucking movie, and it reminded me of Inherent Vice, but I actually like this one better. Andrew Garfield, the dude who directed It Follows, really, really fun, like mystery, detective noir kind of feeling, but like a totally different take on it. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about that movie. I don't know why I wrote it down here. Anyway, so there you go. No One Lives. It has been talked about, so we can drop it now, right? I'm just kidding. No, thank you for the support. Thank you for the comments, guys. I love it. And, I'm moving on Wednesday. I'm gonna, as I told you guys, like I'm gonna be way less active on the channel after this move on Wednesday. So like way less. So we'll see though. We'll see. I still can watch movies. We'll see what happens. So, but yeah. Anyway, guys, adios.